timeline, vehicle's nominal, tracking no issues. The deorbit burn was right down the middle with nominal landing site targeting. No deltas on weather or recovery, and we're looking forward to having you home shortly.
And copy that, SpaceX. Good deorbit burn. Vehicle's healthy. Recovery forces are there. Weather's looking good. See you guys soon.
Good to be back.
So we heard some awesome calls from the Corps. The deorbit burn looked good. Re-entry and weather all looked good. So everything you would want to hear for Splashdown, we got it. And so things are looking great for Splashdown in about 20 minutes here. So super exciting, and things will start to get very, very dynamic, and a lot of events will happen over the next 20 minutes or so. So at this point, we are entering here shortly a communications blackout period, which lasts approximately 7 minutes due to plasma formation around the spacecraft. During this time, no vehicle telemetry is received by mission control or the recovery team, and no external commanding of the vehicle or voice communication is possible. As a reminder, though, Dragon is designed to fly itself and continues to autonomously.
It's smooth. Okay.
The Dragon is designed to fly itself and continues to autonomously use its Draco thrusters to orient itself during re-entry. So during re-entry, the vehicle will be slowing down from orbital velocity, which is approximately 17,500 miles an hour, all the way down to about 350 to 400 miles an hour before we deploy those chutes.
We did hear a call out of 200 kilometers. That is basically telling us that the Dragon capsule is getting closer and closer to Earth. Again, they went all the way out to orbit at about 575 kilometers from Earth. I think the furthest they went was 590 kilometers. But now they're on their way back home, so they're approximately 200 kilometers at this moment. And again, today we are bringing the crew back home. We've begun several operations during this deorbit sequence, but actually deorbit and return home began yesterday. We did have a couple phase burns yesterday that brought the vehicle down to approximately 365 kilometers. And now we're getting closer and closer to bringing the crew back home. It's getting really exciting over here. Can't wait to see them back on Earth after their trip to orbit.
Yeah, so Jesse mentioned yesterday we started some downhill phasing burns. There were 2 of them to lower the altitude. Earlier today we saw, we didn't see, but we got confirmation of the trunk jettison. We completed our deorbit burn successfully, and right now Dragon is going through its re-entry phase and through its blackout communications portion. And shortly here, we're going to have Splashdown after our parachutes deploy. You know, I can't believe this mission has come and gone so quickly. The crew has been, again, super busy, and I do want to remind all of our viewers that this inspiration for mission, this inspiration for crew, it's all for a great cause. We want to make sure that we further human space exploration. We want to do a ton of science, and we want to fundraise for St.Jude Children's Research Hospital. The goal is $200 million. Jared Isaacman donated $100 million himself, and we're a little over halfway through the other $100 million that we want to fundraise. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you have a computer nearby, you can go to inspiration4.com/donate and support the cause there. There's also a bunch of different things like auctions.
Dragon, SpaceX, please verify crew entry preparations complete with tablets, restraints, visors, and feet.
レオビットっていうのはオービットにデがついてるんだけど、デがつくセットのなんかあるかな。で オービットっていうのは軌道っていうことで、デオービットっていうのは軌道から離脱することを表しています。
SpaceX Dragon tablets are secure. Restraints are tightened. Visors are down. We are ready to come home.
We copy all
軌道から
Dragon.
離脱するため
Approximately 4
に
minutes, 30 seconds
燃
until
焼
com
をして
blackout. We'll see you on the other side at
減速をして、ちょ
2300.
っと遅くするとその分下に落ちるから、そうやって今自分
Just
の
under
ね
5 minutes
軌道から
away from
落ちるよ
that
うにわ
blackout
ざわ
period.
ざ
So
吹い
what you're
てい
seeing
ます。
on your
だか
screen
らそれやん
is
なかったらまだ
before
やれるってこと
the
よ。
crew operations and resources engineer
角これじゃな
communicating
く
with
ね
the crew on board Dragon, preparing for re-entry back into the Earth's atmosphere. So they're closing their visors and making sure that their 5-point harnesses are secure. Basically doing all their preparations for that re-entry.
スポちゃんは有効になってますよ。実は今後ろで消してました。多分もう送
And
れないは
again,
ず。
if you're just now joining us, you are tuned into the Inspiration4 mission. This is the first all-civilian crew out to orbit, and now they've been out there for about 3 days, and now making their way back. And the crew on board is Jared, Isaacman, who's the commander for the mission.
5000兆円欲しいみたいな感
He
じ。
is the 38-year-old CEO of Ship4
アイ
Payments.
ザックマンさんや。今回の億万長者
He
役。
has been a fighter pilot for many, many years. He's flown in over 100 air shows. And always does a fundraiser or a charity event with every one of his air shows. And doing the same thing with this mission, which is pretty
難しいじゃん、や
incredible.
っぱ。定常の
Up
も
next
の
we
からさ、
have
ステージ
Hayley
に動かすと
Arceneaux.
いう
She's
かさ、
29 years old, and she is actually the youngest
落ちてくる
American
わ
to
けだから
fly
ね。
in space
宇宙からよ。
ever. She's
す
also
ごいよ
the
ね。宇
first
宙から落ちてきて、
By his attitude.
それをパラシュートでどうにかするっていう。
continuing to get great calls. Hayley is also the first in space with a prosthetic. She is a pediatric cancer survivor and also a physician assistant at St.Jude Children's Research Hospital, same place that saved her life when she was
手
10
に
years
入るよ
old.
うにってことね。ちゃんと寝た？寝た。
Got Dr. Sian Proctor on
Yeah,
board,
Tom.
making her way
Neta,
back
yo?
home with the crew. She is the 51-year-old mission pilot
50 くら
for
いまで
this
記憶がある
mission.
な。
She's from Tempe, Arizona, and she holds the seat of prosperity. She actually was awarded this
2
seat
minutes to
for.
expected com blackout.
We got a 2-minute call out for that expected blackout period. But Dr. Sian Proctor actually was awarded the seat for starting her own, basically, business for her artwork and her poetry. But she's also an incredible human being. She's an analog astronaut. She's always wanted to go to space. Almost became a NASA astronaut at one point.
Initial entry attitude complete.
And now she's on the crew and was able to accomplish her dream.
And last but certainly not least is Chris Sembroski. He's 42. He's a data engineer at Lockheed Martin and a United States Air Force veteran, a space enthusiast through and through. And I was watching the docu-series, and he's just a husband and father first and foremost. And so those were our 4 crew members that are currently making their way back home, back down to Earth, and as part of the Inspiration4 mission.
I'm so excited to see them come back home, and I can't wait to hear their stories from being out in space. Again, just the first all-civilian crew. You know, they're not professional astronauts. I can't wait to hear their stories coming back from that.
Yeah, it looks like they've had a really fun time. I was watching the interview with the St.Jude children yesterday, and they were throwing M&Ms all over the capsule.
すごいグッドイブニングが飛んでくる朝枠ってさ、めっちゃグローバルだよね。
They're
地球を感じ
obviously
るわ。
very, very good friends and work very, very well together.
And we are entering this blackout
100
period.
kilometer altitude.
We are entering this blackout period that we have mentioned. Again, it is an expected period of time where the vehicle is re-entering back into the Earth's atmosphere. That generates a lot of heat, about up to 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, which causes a plasma layer to form around the vehicle. So we do lose comms with the crew. They've already done their pre-blackout period operations, making sure that their visors are closed, they're strapped in, and they're ready to re-enter back into the Earth's atmosphere. And so we do expect to regain comms about 7 minutes after they've entered the blackout period.
見えなくなるというか、電波的に見えなくなるブラックアウト。通信できなくなるっていうのか、通信できなくなる時間帯があるっぽい。
You can see that we've got some folks gathering. They're also very excited for Inspiration4 to return back to Earth. And so yeah, we're all waiting. We're actually about 20-25 minutes away from Splashdown off the coast of Florida. Again, Dragon, even throughout this blackout period, it can pilot itself essentially. So again, the crew just needs to make sure that they're strapped in and enjoy the flight, because Dragon will take them to where they need to be.
Yeah, exactly. And as we mentioned earlier, they don't really have to do anything aside from follow along with each event that is happening. So we did catch them earlier watching some movies on their flight back home. But yeah, they really don't need to do much as Dragon is autonomous.
So after we splashed down, for those that are maybe watching for the first time or wondering, well, how does Dragon get out of the water? So Dragon itself is designed to be waterproof.
初の宇宙旅行なのでは
80 kilometer altitude.
Loss of comm. Start of blackout period.
So we just heard the call.
Anticipated acquisition of signal in 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
So we just heard the call out that Dragon is about 80 kilometers in altitude. We're entering that communications blackout period now, and we just got an update that it's expected to last about 4.5 minutes. So again, we'll reestablish communications with the crew after this blackout period, but we are entering the atmosphere at a very, very, very high velocity, and when we start to get a lot of friction from the atmosphere and the space capsule, we start to form that plasma, and plasma tends to interfere with communication. So it's a temporary communications blackout. Again, we're going to be able to reconnect to them in about 4 minutes here.
During this time, no vehicle telemetry is received by Mission Control or the recovery team. There's no external commanding of the vehicle or voice communication. That is not possible at this time. So as a reminder, Dragon is designed to fly itself and continues to fly autonomously using Draco thrusters to orient itself during this re-entry.
めっちゃ画質荒いと思ったら、リアの画質 360p ぐらいまでしかないんだ。
Now, during this re-entry, the vehicle will be slowing down the orbital velocity from 17,500 miles per hour, and the use of just the atmosphere will bring the vehicle down to about 350 miles per hour before we even deploy the drogue chutes.
Yeah, a few minutes after we get communications again, we are expecting to deploy the sets of parachutes. We have 2 sets. The first, again, are drogue chutes. There's 2 of them. Their job is to slow the vehicle down from about 350 miles an hour to about 120 miles an hour. And those deploy at around 18,000 feet. Shortly after that, we'll deploy our main parachutes. There's 4 of them. Those are larger, circular orange and white chutes, and their job is to slow the vehicle down from 120 miles an hour to about 15 miles an hour, and then we'll make splashdown off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean.
まあちょっとこのままでお願いします。ちょっとね、画質めちゃくちゃ荒くなってしまった。 まさか 360p まで下げちゃったとは自分でも思ってなかった。もっとマシな。
There's sensors on Dragon that detect altitude and pressure, and they will determine when to fire those parachutes. And so Pretty much everything on Dragon is autonomous, and again, it's steering itself. It's taking the inspiration for a crew where they need to go for their targeted splashdown.
帰るレベルが高いからスムーズにね。
Again, if you're just now joining us, we're currently in progress of the blackout period. What this is basically the Dragon spacecraft re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. It'll see temperatures, external temperatures of about 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, building a plasma layer around the vehicle, preventing comms and communication with the Dragon spacecraft. It's expected to last about 4.5 minutes. We're a little over halfway through that right now, so we should, in a couple minutes here, start hearing some comms from the core, checking in to regain that communication with Dragon. What you are seeing is a view from our thermal camera. Seeing Dragon coming back down to Earth right there.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is the first shot of the Dragon capsule coming back as part of the Inspiration4 mission. The crowd here is super excited seeing that for the first time as well. So yeah, a couple minutes left of the blackout period, and we should be getting comms reestablished with the crew here shortly.
めっちゃドキドキする。やばい。頑張れ。頑張れ、インスピレーション4。レジリエンス。
What you're seeing on your screen right now is on the left-hand side. That is Mission Control Hawthorne.
Dragon, GPS converged. Expect nominal altitude for drogue chute
ノ
deploy.
ミナルドロップシップデプロイ。
Copy that, SpaceX. We show the same.
ノミナルって言ったね、ノミナルって。大丈夫そうってことかな。カメラ大丈夫なさそうだけど。
And those comms confirm that we have regained comms with Dragon. And they're getting ready for drogue deploy here shortly.
Yeah, I love these tracking shots. Again, that is Dragon in the center of your screen. We've got visuals of it, and we're expecting drogue chutes to deploy, and then the main chutes shortly after that here in a couple of minutes. Again, a lot of excitement for Inspiration4 crew's return. Waiting on drogue chute deploy. That happens at about 18,000 feet.
Brace for drogue window.
パラシュートの中でも1段目のパラシュートと2段目のパラシュートみたいになっていて、多分1個目のドラッグシュート、抵抗をね、いや、抵抗かけたよね。1個目の1段目のパラシュートが開いたっぽい。
about 3 to 5 Gs.
We heard some words to have them brace for drogue deploy. They will feel the difference in speed when the chutes do deploy. That was what the core mentioned there. That's such a cool shot of Dragon coming back down to Earth. It looks very fast in this camera view here.
さあ、パラシュートをめっちゃ見える。やばい。やばいやばいやばいやばいやばい。めっちゃ落ちてるじゃん。いや、そりゃそうなんだけど。増えた。ドライブシュートですかね。
Yeah, so this is a really This is a great shot of Dragon looking up at the drogue chutes.
ドライブシュートが開いてます。綺麗です。
A lot of communication going back and forth between the crew and ground station, but the drogue's job is to slow the vehicle down from about 350 miles an hour to 120. We are expecting the main chutes for these to cut off and the main chutes to come shortly after this.
Dragon, he's on 4 happy millions. Dragon, descend right nominal. You have visual from the Cubby forces.
すごい綺麗に壊せて開いていく様子が見える見える見える見える。めっちゃ見やすい。うわ、すごい。
And at
この
4:04 p.m.
パッカーのオンボード
Pacific
やばい
time, we
ね。
do have
すごい
confirmation
ね。
that the main chutes have deployed, and you can see that on your left-hand screen of a camera looking forward above the Dragon capsule, looking at those 4 main chutes.
メインプラシュートがちゃんと展開しています。クラゲみたいやっぱり。
The next event coming up now is a visual confirmation of Splashdown. You can see the Dragon capsule on your right-hand screen. Slowly coming down now. We've talked about how fast the vehicle has been traveling, but they will be touching down approximately 15 miles per hour when they touch the Atlantic Ocean there.
800 SpaceX.
We copy
いや、もう
800.
完全に KSP ですね、これね。
Now, the Dragon 1 program had great success with the water landing, with 20 successful splashdowns over the course of that program, 9 of which were carried out by flight-proven Dragon spacecraft.
And this is a great shot. Dragon continuing to descend back towards Earth, again targeting a landing, a splashdown off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean.
でももうね、落ちるだけだから何も頑張ることないんだけど、いやなんか応援したくなる。頑張れ。ふわふわふわふわ。あとはもう水に着水したら終わりです。いやーよかった。めっちゃ完璧じゃん。KSP じゃんこれ。打ち上げて分離して横向きに軌道投入して周回軌道
Copy 400.
入って周回軌道離脱して落ちてきてプロブシュート開いてパラシュート開いて落ちてきて完全に KSP だわ。若干斜めになってるのはそういう仕様かな。釣っているところはね真上じゃないから斜めになりますね。横のところにほら斜めのところにね釣るポイントがあってそこで釣り上げているから斜めになっちゃう。
Copy 200.
あ、見えやすいね。そんな感じそんな感じ。一番上は急プロになってるし3点とか4点とかで横まっすぐなるようにやってるわけじゃないみたいだね。Very KSP ほんと KSP みたい。Another win for Dragon and Rose for Starliner? あ、ドラゴンとねスターライナーのアナザーウィン。なるほどね。着水したかな映像が遅れてるからちょっとうわーお疲れ様でした
Inspiration4, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home to planet Earth. Your mission has shown the world that space is for all of us and that everyday people can make extraordinary impacts in the world around them. Thank you for sharing your leadership, hope, generosity,
カモンようこそ。いや
and
ー来
congratulations
てく
on
れ
your
てありがとうございます地球へ。やったー。
Thanks so much, SpaceX. It was a heck of a ride for us. It's just getting started.
綺麗なスプラッシュダウンでした。そしてねちゃんともう浮くんですよね。どんぶらこ川からドラゴンレジリエンスが流れてきました。
So welcome back, Inspiration4. The Dragon Resilience Capsule has returned. The crew has returned. What a phenomenal visual that we got, and I love that Jared said, "We're
Welcome
just
back
getting
to
started."
Earth.
Right, this is the beginning of their journey, of the next steps to the new era in human space flight. And just, you know, what an incredible mission. What an amazing view watching them touch down and splash down into the Atlantic Ocean. You could hear the crowd here, so excited to welcome the crew back home.
Yes. So we do have a couple of events that need to happen first before we can start to get the crew out of the capsule. So you can see some boats headed towards Dragon. And you know, the first job is to make sure that the area around Dragon is safe to approach, and then we'll go in there, start rigging the Dragon up to be able to hoist later on onto our main recovery vessel.
Take EVA report.
So we also heard that
Take
Jared
EVA report and
had given us
sample.
confirmation of stable 1.
Case
What that means
be
is Dragon has
updated.
Splashdown and is upright. There's
回収
also
しに
stable
近すぎて
2.
すごい。いや、
Dragon
本当だ
can
よ。
actually be upside down or
最初の時
sideways.
さ、みんな言ったよね。
Waterproof
野獣
and
みたい
has
なのいっぱいい
systems
たよね。
where it
確
can
か。
pump seawater into some bladders
回
to
収
help
部隊
keep
来て
it
る。
up.
あれが回収
So
部隊
again,
の範囲ですね。
stable 1 is the best possible scenario that we can achieve, and that's what we see on screen right now.
And just something to
Papers,
note,
please.
there are going to be a few operations that
コメント欄
happen
にケース P やってる人
before
が
the
いる
crew。can get out of the capsule, so they will be strapped
Some
into their
student
seats,
in
remain strapped
it.
into their
EVA
seats
night.
throughout these operations until basically until hatch open once we have the Dragon capsule on board the recovery vessel. So we do have some events coming up next. The fast boats will be approaching the Dragon capsule. They'll be doing some inspections to make sure that it is safe before we begin operations to lift Dragon out of the water onto the recovery vessel.
Dragon, SpaceX is go for recovery personnel to approach. Expect personnel alongside in 1 minute.
インターフェレンス。
And copy that, SpaceX. We're looking forward to seeing you.
And Dragon, with that, we request to
いや、
come
と
aboard
んで
via
も
display
ないで
plane.
すね。宇宙に行ってさ、周回軌道に乗ってこれるってもうさ、も
Requesting
う
permission to come aboard
一
via
回
display
宇宙に
cam.
行きたいって民間人はもうさ、それですごい満足するわけじゃん。それにめっちゃお金払うわけじゃん。いやー、完璧じゃない？完璧な着水、完璧な打ち上げ、完璧な周回。完璧だわー。これに乗れたらもう思い残すことない人もいるだろう。お子さんハリー来てくれてありがとう。今ね、民間人だけで企業勢の宇宙人詳しなしで打ち上げがあったこの宇宙旅行ミッションにの着水があったところです。帰ってきました。
before they begin rigging Dragon
インターフェレンス
to
解
bring the
消
vehicle onto the recovery vessel.
ありがとう。何か回収に干渉するものがないといいねってことでね。つまり、
someone
あ
on
り
a
がとう
jet
ござい
ski
ます。
helping to pull some of those
い
chutes
つも
out
の
of the
考え
water.
と大丈夫そうだけどね。
They
こ
did
のままどんぶら
automatically
こうどんぶら
detach
こうっ
from
てこう
Dragon
船
once
に
once the vehicle splashed
連
down.
れてくるんですよ。
So now they were removing them
結
from
構早い
the
よ。
Yeah, it is super important that we cut those main
Yeah,
parachutes.
it's
We don't want
probably
any type of
another
wind or even the
area.
water to
最初は
pull or
さ、
drag the
なんか
Dragon
こ
capsule. But
の
when we did see Dragon splash down, we also saw
最初
really
スプラッ
good
シュダウン
visuals
1回
of
目
the
のね、
mains
クル
being
ー
cut
じ
as
ゃなく
well.
てデモ
There
2 の
is
時
boat personnel
は
that are going
本
to go
当
out
に
there
た
and
くさんの
collect
ね野獣の
those
船が
chutes
いっ
as
ぱ
part
いい
of
て
the
さ、
recovery operation.
着陸した時着水した時
We
に
are
寄ってきててさ、
expecting about an hour
すごい
from
光景だったんだけど、
splashdown
最近
until
は
we
い
can get
な
the
いよ
crew
ね。
outside of the capsule. Again, we're going
外
through a
出で
series
ス
of
プラッシュ
safety
してないんでしょう
checks
か、わかんない
and
け
some
ど
other operations
ちゃん
to
と
get Dragon
どかすことができて
hoisted,
るのか
rigged
な。
up, and lifted up onto the main recovery vessel before we can open that side hatch and get the crew out. It was very, very exciting. I think the couple of seconds leading up to splashdown, you could hear a pin drop here in Hawthorne.
なん
But
かや
as
っぱ
soon as
ど
we
んぶ
made
らこが
contact
ちょうど
with the
似合
water,
うよね、この
excitement erupted,
ど
and
ん
it
ぶ
was
ら
just
こ、どんぶら
amazing.
こ。
Again, this is the Inspiration4 crew,
Yeah,
the
Jawa.
first all-civilian mission
Yeah.
to orbit with 4 incredible,
マスツリまあ
incredible
マスはいないわ。
crew
Yeah,
on board, and we
Jawa.
now
Yeah.
have an
Yeah.
inside view on Dragon as they
So,
are sitting
海の
on
向
the
こうから
ocean water,
どんぶらこ
waiting
こ
for the
どんぶ
recovery
らこ
operations.
こと
Looks like
大
we
き
got
な
a
大
selfie.
きな
I think Dr. Sian has taken some post
クルーズドラゴン
Splashdown
目印
pictures,
が
well deserved.
流れてきました。
And again, this
リ
is
アちゃん
standard
はそれを
procedure.
責
We
任重い
do have
拾ってお家に持って帰りま
some
した。
crew climbing on board Dragon. They're performing some inspections,
The
just
crew
making
has
sure that the vehicle is
to
safe
figure
prior
out
to the next step.
Dragon SpaceX.
Custom
Hypergol sweeps and
recovery
ordnance checks are nominal. Rigging is in progress.
So, yeah,
Approximately
but
25 minutes until
なるほど。
capsule lift. Stand by for PMC.
今イルカ釣り言うたイルカ釣り言った。ドラゴ
Some
ンだ
excitement from the
ろ
crew on board. And if you noticed the difference in view, the camera actually has not
So,
moved, but the seats,
その大きなクル
from
ー
what
ドラ
you've
ゴ
seen
ンを持っ
previously
て
of this
帰
view,
る。
the astronauts are actually rotated a little bit more
中か
forward,
ら
and
大
that
き
is
な
for
大きな4
these
人の
return operations instead of the reclined back position. So that's why the view
ド
looks
ラ
a
ゴ
little
ン
bit
太郎が出て
different.
きました。ダメだ。
So on the right-hand side, we do see the rigger climbing up on the Dragon capsule to attach some hardware, so that way Dragon can be lifted and hoisted out of the water using our main recovery ship, Ghost Searcher, which will be approaching the vehicle in a few minutes here. So that hardware is important, and that's how we get Dragon out. We hoist it and we actually put it on what's called a nest, and then we'll perform some more checkouts, make sure everything is good before we open up that side hatch.
部屋の中の様子も映ってるけど微動だにしないね。
You can see one of the techs climbing on board. Crew is the Dragon capsule's exterior. They do train for this event. They do go through a lot of training to make sure that they are qualified to perform these operations.
ブルーオリジンがお祝いしてる。おお、さすがに張り合わなかった俺たちの方がすごいぜって言わなかった。ブルーオリジンこの間張り合ってたからね。 Congratulations to SpaceX and the crew of Inspiration4 on their successful mission でブルーオリジンが出たのかな多分ね。いやー、来てくれてありがとう地球へ。Welcome to Planet Earth。みんなもうみんなタイムラインがすごいことになってる。
If you're just now joining us, you are tuned into the Inspiration4 mission. The all-civilian crew has now returned back to Earth. What you're seeing on your right-hand
Now
screen
return
are
back to
recovery
Earth.
operations currently in progress. The crew has already done their safety check to make sure that the vehicle was okay to approach, and now they have begun some rigging operations. They're installing some of the rigging hardware that they need to be able to lift the capsule out of the water onto the recovery vessel. And on your left-hand screen is the live view inside of Dragon of the crew. And it's just been such an incredible mission so far. Like, they lifted off on Wednesday, expected to be in space for about 3 days. They were able to perform some science experiments. They were able to do some charity events, talk to, again, this mission was all for a fundraiser for St.Jude Children's Research Hospital, so they got to talk to some St.Jude patients live while in space and doing backflips.
Yeah, and to think that this crew really formed about 6 months ago, and we cannot stress that this is the first all-civilian crew. Their day job is not being an astronaut. They were trained in the same simulations and same manuals that previous Dragon crew members were trained in, and they got together through this amazing mission again, providing fundraising capabilities for St.Jude Children's Research Hospital. They gave us a live on-orbit event yesterday. And they spent a couple of days in space, did some art, did some photography, did some somersaults, and now they're back on Earth. And in a few minutes here, they're gonna take a fresh breath of fresh air from Earth air for the first time in about 3 days. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear the stories that they have to tell us. We did get some of those live events, but they were out there for 3 days. That's quite a bit of time being out in microgravity in a spacecraft. So I'm really excited to hear what their experiences are really like. With the NASA crew missions, we typically get to hear, some of their thoughts of the Dragon spacecraft. Would love to hear more from, just a all-civilian crew this time around, not professional astronauts.
入り込むようなそういう感じでしなきゃいけないのかと思ったんだけど、
as we see the sun setting on the
そこで
right
過ご
hand
しちゃうっ
side,
て手
the
があった
boats
のか
are
って思う。
equipped with
なんか
very strong lights to make sure that they can continue the
車中泊って
operation
手がある
in
の
case
か
the
と思
sun
って
does go down. But one thing I do want to reiterate is weather and how
ホテル
great
まで
that's
行かなきゃ
been
いけ
for
ないと思っ
us.
てたんだけど、
We
ホテル行かなく
we
て
had
も
a phenomenal day in terms of weather
でそこで車中
Wednesday
泊すれ
during
ば
ascent,
いいんだ。
and on return you can look at the ocean now and it's not choppy, there's no waves essentially.
外に出られるわけ
It's
ではないけ
basically
ど
like
限り
pool
なく
water,
外だよ
and
ね。
so the
限り
Dragon
なく外という
capsule
か
is
限りなく
there, it's
宇宙だ
floating
よ
there
ね。
now because it's not choppy. The recovery team can get in there, do their jobs without worrying about any other external factors.
Yeah, that's extremely important. Safety is number one here at SpaceX, so we always want to make sure that we're keeping these events during an environment that is safe, and weather plays a very big factor into that. And not just for the crew on board Dragon, but the recovery team there, which you've been currently seeing climbing on Dragon, installing the rigging. They're on boats, so it's really important to make sure that the weather conditions
ス
are
ターシップが
accommodating
スターライナーでも
to
早
the
く打ち上がるって
operation.
本当？スターライナーがそんなに待たされるというか、あれからバルブの不具合から消すのに時間かかるのかな。
Yeah, so we are expecting
なんか
the
打ち上げ
team
られ
to
るタイミング
finish
がまた次はちょっと長い
installing all of
感じだったよ
the
ね。
equipment needed to lift
ISS ができ
Dragon
てか
out
ら
of the water
ISS に対応する
in
こと
a
が
few
デフォルト
minutes,
になっていたからね。
and we should see
でもなんか
another boat
ISS に
approach
行く
the
以外の選
Dragon
択肢があるとあんまり
capsule,
思ってなか
and
ったから
that
す
will
ごい
be
なって。
where we essentially hook it up to a crane on the back of the boat,
スペースシ
lift
ャ
it
トル
up
と
out
か
of
ス
the
カイラー み
water
たいに帰って
and
きた感じ
onto
っ
the
てポイン
recovery
トがあり
vessel.
ますけど、そうなんか宇宙のフロンティアをこう先端をなんだろう切り開いてる感じするよね。ちょうどね。新しくできるようになったことがたくさんある。ここ 2,3 年で本当に。
The Dragon vehicle is looking nice and toasty. I think if we had daytime shots, it would look essentially like a marshmallow. Again, when it's re-entering the Earth, it can get quite hot on the exterior, and the Pika material is doing its job and absorbing the brunt of that heat. But there's a side hatch. I mean, that's where the crew is going to egress out of. That side hatch was sealed 3 days ago, and it hasn't been opened since. And so, typically,
こうやって飛んでったクルードラ
missions
ゴンが
with crew
く
go
っ
to
つ
the
く場所
International
が
Space Station.
もしかした
The
ら
crew will ingress and egress out of that
将来
top
的にで
hatch
きる
that
か
you
もし
see
れない
there.
しね。
But because we weren't going to the International Space Station for this mission, we installed that super cool cupola and that hatch is going to stay closed, but the team will be exiting out of the side hatch in a few minutes here.
人口こその人でも宇宙に行けることが確認されたのも大きいね。確かにね。数日間だったら大丈夫なのかもしれないね。やっぱ体にそういう障害って言ったらあれだけど、他の完全なままでなく義足とか人工関節とかそういうのを入れた状態の人が宇宙飛行士に選ばれることって多分なかなか今はないと思うんだけど、民間でそうやってそういう人でもいけるっていうのが分かるとだいぶ開けますよね、可能性が。
We'll reorient and locate the vehicle on the recovery ship in a position where we can open the hatch and then have the crew step out for the first time since Wednesday. When they open the hatch, we will have a medical officer check on them first. It's pretty standard procedure to make sure, they have been out in space for 3 days. So we do want to make sure that the crew is okay. There will be a team there helping them every bit of the way to make sure that they are okay as they walk to the medical room on the recovery
不思議そうな顔してましたけど、気持ち悪そうな顔はしてませんでしたよね。最初の時とかさ。
What you're seeing right now on your screen on the left-hand side is a live view inside of Dragon. View from the behind the displays on your left-hand side there. That is Commander Jared Isaacman, and to his right is Dr. Sian Proctor, who is the pilot for this mission. They're now back down on Earth. What an amazing homecoming day for this crew. Such an exciting mission.
After landing, to recap the events, it took about 10 minutes for the recovery crew to complete their safety checks, and then once they completed that, the team began to prepare Dragon to be lifted onto the recovery vessel. As part of the preparation for this lift, one member of the recovery team that we saw on screen climbed on top of the capsule, so that way they can attach Dragon's hoist rings and connect the lifting lines. Again, we are estimating about an hour after splashdown until we are able to raise Dragon up and out of the water onto the recovery boat and remove the crew from the spacecraft. And then, Jess, you just mentioned after medical checkouts, the crew will return to the Cape by helicopter and be rejoined by their friends and family.
そう思うけど、トランポリン飛んだことなかったらトランポリン飛んできて今回 ISS で高い高度に飛ばしている。同じような宇宙旅行ミッションがコンスタントに行われてるといいね。ね、前澤さんとかさ、月行く前にこれやればいいのに。お金ありそうだけど。ほえーって。お、手振って手振って。
If you're just now joining us, you are watching the Inspiration4 mission. The Inspiration4 crew, first all-civilian crew to orbit, is now back down on Earth and currently in progress of the recovery operations. They're currently out in the Atlantic Ocean as the team is rigging up the capsule to get it ready to be lifted onto the recovery vessel. And what you're seeing on your left-hand screen is a live view of the crew inside of the vehicle at the moment.
Yeah, we splashed down just a few minutes after 4 p.m. Pacific time. We also had great visuals of the Dragon spacecraft
3日ぶり
returning
に
back
重力
to
を感
Earth.
じ
We
たら
saw
重く感じ
some
そう
really
だよ
great
ね。や
shots
っぱり
from the
3日
Dragon vehicle
3日
looking
間だから
upwards
ね。
to the
プ
drogue
ールから
chutes
上がる
and the
時も
main
体重重く
parachutes.
なりますね。
And
体重重くなり
then
ますね
we
か。
had a
なる
nice
なるな
soft
るな
water
る。
landing in the Atlantic
ちょ
Ocean.
っとだるいよ
And
ね。
again, we're waiting for
あ
the
れが
rigging
もっと
equipment to
強
be
いって感じ
installed.
かな。
That way we can get
あ
the vehicle
あ
out
と
of
思
the
ったんだ
water
けど
and
さ、
then
例え
the
ば
crew
フェリーとかに乗
out
っ
of
て
the
一晩過ごした
Dragon
時と
Observing
か、
Capsule.
あれもさ、地上に戻ってきた時にさ、なんか体が揺れてるような感じとかしない？ふわふわふわふわって。お、だいぶ近くまで来ましたね。フェリーに乗ってる時のふわふわは、船体の陽動がね、なんか続いてるみたいな錯覚とか、あれもなんか、こういうのと近いのかもしれない。
In-flight entertainment. So yeah, it looks like they're all in great spirits. We have a really cool shot on the right-hand side of the screen. That is the back of Ghost Searcher, the main recovery vessel. Dragon is in the background, as well as some other supporting recovery vessel ships as well.
旅行に行けるようになるかな。多分子供も行くようになりますよ。
Again,
初
pretty
めての子供があるから
incredible to
なりますよき
see
っと。
where we are
多分
today with this
こ
mission.
の子が初めて宇宙旅行した子供ですみたいな。
And
きっと出てくる。
ironically, it's so much like they just went and flew on an airplane as they're watching movies, waiting to deboard the spacecraft.
Since they only spent 3 days in space. なるほど。どれくらい歩けるか、どれくらい立っていられるか。3日間のフライトの後にどれくらいの歩行できるか、どれくらい気絶していられるかが気になりますと書いてくれてます。リオンめっちゃ気になるそれ。
And again, this mission is a fundraiser for St.Jude Children's Research Hospital. We've got some great news that we've raised up to $157 million so far. How incredible to do such a inspiring mission like this, as well as raise $157 million for such an amazing cause.
Yeah, so in the last 90 minutes, essentially, we raised $4 million. Keep it up, everyone. Thank you so much. Again, it's going to a great cause, and it's benefiting a lot of wonderful people.
このクルードラゴンがここまでやってきて、ここまでここに
Again, currently in progress
来るんだ
are
よ。で、ここに
recovery
来た時に
operations.
これを倒して、
So
こ
far,
れで
they've
加工前
already
にこうパターンってしてあ
inspected
げて、
the
それでこれ
capsule
釣り上げるみたいな、
for
そんな感じに
safety
なってたと
before
思います。
installing
今から見られ
rigging
るから
hardware.
楽しみにしてて。
We got some comms that they will be
人
ready
間は
for
この後ね、ここに乗っ
that
けて、
that
ここに
rigging
乗っ
is
けて、で、ここに乗っけた後
rigging
に、
setup is
船の
complete
奥
and
の
they
方
will
に
be
こうグッと押
lifting
し
the
込んで、
vehicle in a few
そこ
minutes
で
here.
はしごをかけて、
Again, this is Ghost Searcher, and
は
what
し
you
ごが
see
あ
on
る
the
ところ
right
に
hand
押し込んで
screen
かな。
at
そこから出るようになって
the
ま
end
す。
of Ghost Searcher is the Dragon Nest. It's basically the nest or stand that Dragon will be lifted onto and set into.
Like spending 3 days in water. ああ、3日間水の中にいるようなものだ。
We also heard some comms that the
3
crew
日間プール
is
入
in
って
good
て出た
spirits,
ら思うだろう
watching some
ね。で
entertainment
も歩けなくは
while
ない
they
んじゃない
wait
か。
while they wait to be lifted
この
onto
黒いのが回収
Ghost
機構なんだ。
Searcher
そうそうそう
and
そう。
for hatch
この周り
opening
のがね、
so
釣り
that
上
they
げる
can
のクレーンで
egress
す
the
ね。
vehicle.
Yeah, they've been
They
busy
probably
doing a
did
lot
some
of work
training
for
for that
a lot
too.
of great causes. So now that they're back on land,
こ
we
の
want to
子
give
こ
them
の
a
子たち
very
民
smooth
間人と
experience.
は
They
言い
can
ま
just
すが、
sit back,
トレーニングはもちろん
relax.
積んで
We'll
いら
take
っしゃ
care
い
of
ました
everything
よ。
else.
なので、もしかしたらこういう
See
時の
that
た
the
めに
gap
少し筋力を上げ
between
てから行っ
the
たかも
Ghost
しれな
Searcher
い。
boat and Dragon is starting to close. We are expecting
3日間の旅行であんまり見
to
たこ
hoist
と
the
ないか
Dragon
も。
out of the water and again put it on that nest that you see on the bottom middle of your screen in a few minutes here.
And weather has been just
この浮かんでいる間
great
は一
for us
応船なの
today.
かな。
Actually, through this whole mission,
宇宙
this
船
is
から
such
船
a
になったっ
unique
て。
mission where we did have to ensure that weather upon liftoff as
I
well
wonder
as
what they are
return
watching
would be
inside.
well, and not just the weather in the atmosphere, but the the water where we are landing, and you can see on your screen that it's very calm. This makes it really a lot easier for the crew to perform the recovery operations. Just
あれも面白いね。UI も面白いね。ユーザーインターフェースタッチパネル。だいぶ面白い。真ん中のところには今の状態を表しているのかな。なんかこうパラシュートが開いたようなクルードラゴンのイラストが書いてありますね。一番右はクルードラゴンの前景と、なんかちょっとなんだろう速度とかかな、そういうグラフとかが出てますね。円のやつ。一番左は姿勢制御かな、なんかこう見たことあるような4つのボタンがつける丸いやつみたいなのがいっぱいありますね。タッチパネルで全部できちゃうのも、この船の先進的なところじゃないかなと思います。見て見て、動き出したの見た、ちゃんと。いや、ちょっと見逃しちゃったけど、右のクレーンが倒れてね、ちょうどするようになってます。いつも思うんだけどさ、ドラゴンってさ、なんかちょっとさ、鳥みたいな顔してない？なんかトキみたいな顔してる。
Safe and healthy before they start egressing the vehicle, and that'll be when they will be allowed to
この人た
get
ちは
out
特
of
別
their
な訓練
seat.
を受けています。そうです。一番左はドッキング時のコントロール用の UI だね。ドッキングのコントロール UI ってさ、今回ドッキングしないけどさ、ずっと表示されたままなのかな。なんか別のもの表示したりしないのかな。そういう風に倒れるんだね。前向きにというか、海に向かってこうパタンって倒れて吊り上げて、今に用意されているあの丸いところに置かれます。ここって言って見えないな。
We've got a crew member on the Dragon capsule at the moment, and again, they are helping with the rigging and hoisting process to lift that Dragon capsule onto the recovery vessel. Again, they have done several hours of training for this particular role. They are professionals.
Dragon, brace for capsule lift.
You heard some comms. They are getting ready to lift the Dragon capsule. You saw the last recovery crew member hop off of the Dragon capsule into the water and onto the fast boat there as they clear the way for lifting the Dragon capsule.
Here
comes Dragon out of the water.
ドラゴンに取り付いて作業をしている人、すげえ身体能力。船に乗ってる人でしょ、すごいよね。なんかピタッて張り付いたりとかして頑張ってこうかけたりとかしてるから。このレジリエンス号はまだ飛ぶのかな。飛ぶんじゃないかな。
Dragon is being lifted
さあリフト
onto
されて
the recovery vessel into the Dragon nest. That is what you see them setting the vehicle down on right there.
完全にここまで KSP なんだけど、オランウータンの顔に見えてきた。ちょっと見えてきたわリオン。なんか見えてきた。あれじゃないラピュタのさロボットの顔とか。
And Dragon is
ちょっと近い。ち
now
ょ
on
っ
the
と違うけ
recovery
ど、
vessel.
全然違うけど、ちょっと近い気がする。
Dragon's almost a little bit of a mix of a rocket,
あ
spacecraft,
とあれかな。
and a little bit of a boat.
It does everything you need it
色
to.
は違うからっぽくないな。 銀河
Dragon,
鉄道
welcome
のな
aboard
ん
the
か
recovery vessel.
車掌さんみたい
Recovery
な。
personnel are completing final checks. Stand by for translation to egress platform in approximately 1 minute.
シマエナガっぽく見えた？
Copy. Text
目を
50
細めたら見えるね。真ん中が口で目みたいなね。
I see some fist pumps from Dr. Sian as aboard the Dragon capsule right now. Next event coming up after the team does some safety checks
なんだか目でハチが口
is
に見える。
opening the side hatch. That's going to be very, very exciting. We're going to see the crew for the first time.
めっちゃ
And
可
we're
愛い
going
シマエナ
to
ガ
see
だ。
Earth for the first time since 3 days ago.
Well, they've seen Earth.
They've seen Earth.
But from space. They'll
Yes.
see Earth from Earth now.
They'll become Earthlings again.
What you heard was some comms, just letting the crew know that they will be translating the Dragon on the nest and reorienting it into a position on Ghost Searcher so that it is in a good, stable position for them to open the hatch.
ハッチはね、
So
こ
while
の手前
Dragon's
にある
top
ね。
hatch houses
紐がかかってるところの下にあるか
the
ら、
cupola, the
この
astronauts
ま
will
ま今
egress
こう
from
な
Dragon's side hatch. That's
置
what
い
you
てある
see
やつが、こ
in
こ
the
ね、
center of
も
your
う少しこ
screen.
うグッと押し込まれます。
Pending capsule
押し込まれ
orientation
た後
from
に
the
ここに
water.
階段がね、
So
待って
before
て、
opening the hatch, the
待ってる
spacecraft
階段のところに、
has to
ここがちょうど
equalize
ぴっ
the
たり
cabin
フィ
pressure
ット
with
する
the
って感
outside
じ。
environment. Once the hatch is open, that will be Jared,
こ
Hayley,
の話って
Sian,
顔の
and
話ってんだか
Chris's
忘れないぐらい
first
だよね。
breath
実
of
態にちょっと投げて
fresh
くるか、
Earth
危機
air
感って。
since boarding Falcon 9 at the start of their mission on September 15th.
If you're just now joining us, you are watching the Inspiration4 mission. The Inspiration4 crew is back home on Earth. We have
home on
lifted
Earth.
Dragon with the crew onto the recovery vessel, and currently in a minute or so, they should be translating the vehicle into a position where they can open the side hatch and then perform the next steps for egressing, which will include a medical officer checking on them prior to that egress.
Yeah, and on the right-hand side of your screen, that's a live shot inside the capsule.
Dragon, translation imminent.
暗くなった。ノンシグナル。
There it is. They are translating the vehicle
来た来た来た来た。
to just
押
under
し込まれ
the
ました。だいぶ
helicopter
船
pad
体
on the
はなんか
vessel.
あれだね。茶色くなってますね。
Looks like they're starting to
Oh,
wash
so
it
this
down,
is special.
get it clean, prepared for
クイーンにし
that
てま
hatch
す。クイ
opening.
アクイーン。
Yeah, this is essentially an egress or a platform for the crew members to exit. Dragon is quite large, and the side hatch is quite a bit a ways up, and so we want to make sure that when we open the side hatch, they can just comfortably get out.
And what they have there is a ladder as they prep for hatch opening. There's a few things that they do have to do here for preparation before they open up that side hatch.
They're moving quite quickly. We splashed down
そうそう、
about
パラ
40
コー
minutes
ドがね、
ago,
こ
and now
うボーンって
Dragon
こ
is
う
on
真ん
the main
中にこ
recovery
う
vessel on the right-hand side of the screen, that is, again, a live view inside of the capsule. You can't see their faces, but on the left-hand side of that shot, that's Jared Isaacman, the mission commander. To his right is Dr. Sian Proctor, the mission pilot. To Dr. Sian's right is Chris Sembroski, the mission specialist. And to Jared Isaacman's left is Hayley Arceneaux, the medical officer of the mission. And I'm sure they're all excited to come back to Earth and probably still enjoying some in-flight entertainment, as Jared called it.
What a crew for this mission, just such incredible individuals, raising money for St.Jude Children's Research Hospital, doing science experiments while out in orbit, let alone just being the first all-civilian crew to go to orbit. It's just been so inspirational, and I can't wait to see them egress the vehicle shortly here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very, very exciting time. All the science that they've done, all of that data is going to be available essentially to the public. And so, all the experiments that they've done is definitely going to benefit a larger populace than just this specific mission.
Right, and so far, this mission has raised up to $157 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which is incredible. That's going to save a lot of children's lives. Just an incredible mission from start to finish here.
Dragon, stand by for side hatch opening and egress. This will be our last call from you. Congratulations, Inspiration4 crew. Signing off.
よし、ツイートした。クラワンでリアルに誰かを席を買うチャレンジ。いくらかかるんやろ。あ、開いた。
There you can see the side hatch is now officially open, and some exciting waves from the crew.
クルーが手振ってます。誰か降りましょう。
Now they are putting on some protection along the hatch door for while they egress the vehicle here.
So we have members of the recovery team inside the capsule with the crew members. They're doing some checkouts, make sure everything is good before the crew can exit the capsule. But this is certainly very, very exciting. Again, that hatch has been closed and sealed for 3 days. This is the first time it's opened since we lifted off Wednesday, September 15th. And we have some fist pumps from Jared. I'm sure the entire crew is super excited.
Could see them waving. Lots of excitement from the crew as they're getting ready to egress the Dragon spacecraft.
It
looks like they are taking their tablets from each of the crew members in preparation for this egress. Now there is a procedure that they will go through even now, as they egress the vehicle, it won't just be all of them getting out at once. They will follow a procedure. I believe they will be starting with egress of seat 1.
シート1からかな。ネットフリックスの撮影があるから説明しているのかな。あ、確かにありそうありそう。そう、この様子はねドキュメンタリーとして撮影が入っていて、ネットフリックスさんの方でこう編集されたやつがこう
If you're just now joining us, you are tuned into the Inspiration4 all-civilian mission to orbit with the Inspiration4 crew back home on Earth, getting ready to egress the Dragon vehicle here shortly.
さっきリアは布団にいるって聞いたけど、リア寝カフェにいます。布団というかマットの上にいますね。
More exciting fist bumps.
グーしてるグーしてる。
This is such a great shot.
Such a good shot.
Some hearts.
いいねいいね。
Love
いい
it.
アングルでしたね。
Again, that was the crew members of Inspiration4, as excited as ever. They are back on Earth on the recovery vessel, just waiting to exit the Dragon spacecraft. Some fist bumps going around.
Again, as the crew does begin their egress, they will have a team that does help them as they egress or exit the vehicle. As they have been out in microgravity for the last 3 days, they have not felt the gravity of their own body in 3 days. So this is very standard procedure to have some support and help as they egress.
20 minutes space trip, let's go.
Right now, looks like they are removing the footrests at the bottom of their seats. This will give them some space as they exit.
Yeah, that is a good thing to note that when we land, we also recline the seats back down to make it a little bit easier for the astronauts and crew members to exit the vehicle.
Up and down? 行くの？ビャーン飛んで帰ってくんの？リエリーホテルなのに行ってないのよ。行ってないよ。ネカフェで泊まってるよ。リアもちょっとコールな訓練を積んだネカフェ民だから。
Hayley Arceneaux egressing the vehicle.
Egressing the vehicle?
She was sitting in seat 1 to the left.
Oh? じっと見てよ。ちょっとその間にリア騎士官の
She looks very excited, even if we're just looking at the backside of her SpaceX spacesuit helmet.
And
there she is. Medical Officer Hayley Arceneaux has now egressed the vehicle, the first of the Inspiration4 crew, and so very excited. Lots of waves, thumbs up. getting a little photo up.
写真撮ってますね。
And it looks like up next is Dr. Sian Proctor.
Yeah, this is very exciting for the crew to be exiting the capsule and finishing their Inspiration4 mission, a mission that's done so much for folks around the world.
Yes, absolutely inspiring all the way around. Just an incredible mission with an incredible crew.
そして2人
And here comes Dr.
目
Sian
出てきま
Proctor.
した。
There she is, excited as ever.
いやー、心なしかもに解説の人の声も上ずってていい感じで、うわーってグッとグッと歩ける歩ける。
Strutting on
I
down.
know, no problem at
No
all.
problem!
Looks like mission specialist Chris Sembroski is up next to egress the vehicle. Looks like some dancing there.
めっちゃもう
Again,
ス
there
ム
is
ーズ
crew
だね。
there to help them egress to make sure that they do not damage their suits or themselves on their way out.
出てきた
And that is Chris Sembroski, again, the mission specialist.
ー。ミッションスペシャリスト。クリスさんかな。
Again, with a smile all over his face, super excited, ready to go.
Yeah, there we
Yay!
go. Last but not
Did
least,
you
we
know
have
this
Commander
guy?
Jared
わかんない、なんか
Isaacman
ね、
getting ready to egress
席
the
の番号
vehicle
1
as
番から
well.
みたいな感じで
The
ちょっと言ってたような
final
気がする
fourth
けど、その席
Inspiration
の
4
番号
crew
順と
member
かじゃない
of
なら
the
できました
first
かもし
all
れない。
civilian crew mission to orbit.
And what a way to close
シ
it
ート
out.
ナ
He
ンバー
was really
1&2 の女の方から一緒に降りてきますみたいなことを言ってたような
person with the
気がす
vision.
る。
There he is.
席の番号順だけじゃなくて女の子を先にしたら席の番号順になっちゃったのかもしれないけど。4人目、船長。
Commander Jared
Commander.
Isaacman of the Inspiration
Jared
4
Isaacmanさん。
crew. So excited.
Yes. よかったね。
Handshakes and hugs all around.
Amazing. Now they will be doing a standard procedure going into the medical room on the recovery vessel
薄いクリアの
and
回
do
収
some
忘れて
medical
ない大
checks
丈
to
夫
make
薄
sure
い
that
クリアの
the
回収
crew
忘れてるよ
is safe and
来た
healthy. And then they will hop on a helicopter and head back to Florida.
Yeah, well, now that Jared, Hayley, Sian, and Chris are safely back home on Earth and getting checked out by our medical team, we're going to wrap up our live coverage of their historic return. We started this day about 2 hours ago. We had successful trunk separation. We completed a deorbit burn, closed the nose cone. We got through that blackout period of communications. Both sets of chutes deployed awesome, and the crew splashdown. We hoisted them up, and they have just exited the
何も
vehicle.
通信ができないって言ってるかな。
Next up, they will catch a helicopter ride back to shore where they will be rejoined by their families. So welcome back to the Inspiration4 crew. It has been an honor and a privilege to share their journey with all of you as we continue this new era in human spaceflight.
Yes, for updates, check out our social media. Also, be sure to donate to St.Jude. There's a donation button if you're watching on YouTube on the right-hand side of your screen. The Netflix documentary is coming out with its 5th and final episode here shortly as well, and that will conclude liftoff and splashdown return of the Inspiration4 mission. Again, thank you to everyone that has joined us so far, and thank you everyone for following along. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you. You're streaming. Thank you. ジェシー、アンディだっけ？アンディ？ありがとね。いや、よかった。帰ってくる時だけでもわかりますか？
Incorporation.
at St.
And
after this blackout. So yeah,
め
a
っちゃ良か
couple
ったですね。
minutes
リ
left
プレイです
of the blackout
コンサー
period,
トラビューと
and
ジャスティン
we
全
should
然
be
シェル
getting
の原因
comms
について
reestablished with your crew here shortly.
A shot of gravitas とそれにこのゴーサーチャーの擬人化配信もやってほしいです。ゴーサーチャーどんな子になるだろうね。釣り人パチパチパチパチよかったよかった。いやお疲れ様でしたみんな。朝早い時間でリアも夜中のお大学もありだったけど来てくれてありがとうございました。ちょっとね昨日のねアップデートのね配信をね見てないからアップデートの配信も少
what
し
you're
見よう
seeing
か
on
な
your
と思
screen
って
right now is on
い
the
ま
left
す。
hand
この
side.
中
That
で
is Mission Control
いいかな。
Hawthorne.
Dragon, GPS converged. Expect nominal altitude for drogue chute deploy.
Copy that, SpaceX. We show the same.
And those comms confirm that we have regained
アップデ
comms
ート見よ
with
うかアップデ
Dragon.
ート。
And they're getting ready for drogue deploy here shortly.
Yeah, I love these tracking shots. Again, that is Dragon in the center of your screen. We've got visuals of it, and we're expecting.
この辺から行こう。この辺から見てアップデートを
Comms
見
here
て
to the drogues.
いやすごかったねここ。
Yeah, so this is a really
Dragon, descend right nominal.
ここに
this
カ
is
メ
a
ラ
great
ついてる
shot
ん
of
だね。
Dragon looking up at the drogue chutes. A lot of communication going back and forth between the crew and ground station, but the drogue's job is to slow the vehicle down from about 350 miles an hour to 120. We are expecting the main chutes for these to cut off and the main chutes to come shortly after this.
本当に綺麗だった。お疲れ様みんな。アップデートこれ終わったら回すね。
Copy that, SpaceX. 4 gigabytes.
Dragon, descend right nominal. You have visual from the Cubby forces.
Copy that, SpaceX. Good news.
And at 4:04 p.m. Pacific time, we do have confirmation that the main chutes have deployed, and you can see that on your left-hand screen of the camera, looking forward above the Dragon capsule, looking at those 4 main chutes.
1,000.
Copy, 1,000.
The next event coming up now is a visual confirmation of Splashdown. You can see the Dragon capsule on your right-hand screen. Slowly coming down now. We've talked about how fast the vehicle has been traveling, but they will be touching down approximately 15 miles per hour when they touch the Atlantic Ocean there.
800, SpaceX.
You copy 800.
Now, the Dragon 1 program had great success with the water landing, with 20 successful splashdowns over the course of that program, 9 of which were carried out by flight-proven Dragon spacecraft.
And this is a great shot. Dragon continuing to descend back towards Earth, again targeting a landing, a splashdown off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean.
Copy 600. Copy 400.
このふわふわの時間
200, we're bracing.
ふわふわの時間って言ったらなんかふわふわタイムみたいだね。
We copy 200.
ふわふわタイム、ふわふわタイム、ふわふわタイム、ふわふわタイム。ハートドキドキ、タタタタタタ。 ふわふわ。そして着水。
SpaceX's Splashdown maintenance. Copy code 1. Pakistan away.
良いふわふわタイムでした。良いクラゲでした。では次いきます。
Inspiration4 on behalf.
ストップ。そしてアップデート。昨日の中間報告を見ます。これかな。
Good afternoon. My name is Andy Tran, and I'm a quality engineer here at SpaceX. Welcome everyone to our live on-orbit conversation with the Inspiration4 crew. On Wednesday, September 15th at 5:02 p.m. Pacific time, the Inspiration4 crew rolled first all-civilian human spaceflight to orbit, lifted off aboard SpaceX's Falcon9 rocket and Dragon spacecraft from historic launch complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And it has been an incredible mission so far. Inspiration4 is commanded by Jared Isaacman, sitting in the third seat from the left-hand side. He is the founder and CEO of Shift4 Payments and an accomplished pilot and adventurer. Joining him from left to right on screen are mission specialist Chris Sembroski, an Air Force veteran and aerospace data engineer, mission pilot Dr. Sian Proctor, a geoscientist, entrepreneur, and trained pilot, and on the far right-hand side, medical officer Hayley Arceneaux, a physician assistant at St.Jude Children's Research Hospital and pediatric cancer survivor.
4人の話してますね。
After Falcon9 separated from Dragon, Dragon completed 2 uphill phasing burns to reach its intended target orbit with altitudes as high as 590 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The Inspiration4 astronauts then doffed or took off their spacesuits, completed on-orbit cabin configuration operations, and conducted their first round of scientific research. Before catching a few hours of sleep, they enjoyed their first meals together, one of which was pizza, which was a very surreal moment for them because we heard the crew saying, and I quote, "I can't believe we're eating cold pizza in space. It's extraordinary."
ピッツァって言った？
Yesterday, the Inspiration4 crew opened the forward hatch to get their first look out of Dragon's cupola, the largest window to ever fly in space. They made a few phone calls and also recorded an event with patients of St.Jude Children's Research Hospital, which was incredible, and thank you so much to the kids who joined us for that. And in case you missed it during the live launch webcast shortly after reaching orbit, Inspiration4 crew revealed their zero-G indicator at the center of your screen. A space dog plush was inspired by St.Jude Children's Research Hospital specially trained facility dogs that were on sale, but they sold out within the hour. The crew has now been in orbit for about 2 days and are getting ready to give a live update of their time in Dragon so far. Now, communicating with a spacecraft that is moving 17,500 miles an hour can be pretty tricky. If you've watched previous crew missions, you know that you can only talk to the crew when they're flying over a designated ground station. The amount of time that we have connectivity with the crew varies depending on the location of the ground station and the position of the spacecraft on orbit. For this particular opportunity, we expect to have the crew for about 10 minutes of connectivity
Oh,
to
kawaii
talk to
katta ne.
Inspiration4.
おはよう
If
ござい
for
ます。
some reason
また
we
くんお
aren't
はようござい
able
ま
to
す。
connect
ち
with
ょう
the
どね
crew
もう
on
帰っ
this
てきた
path,
とこ
we
ろ
do
なんですけ
have
ど、
another
これ昨日
opportunity
の
in about 30
昨日
minutes
の
to try
昨
again.
日の
Now we are expecting the crew to join us in
クルー
just a few moments, so stay with us. And the next voices you should hear
配信してた
should be
時の
that
や
of
つを
Jared, Isaacman, and the Inspiration4
見てま
crew.
す。こんな感じでね、今どこにいるかみたいなのが出るようになってました。こんな感じでしたって、なんか
SpaceX. Welcome everybody to Crew Dragon Resilience. We're cruising right now at 580 kilometers above the Earth, going about 7.6 kilometers per second. So we're really booking. We're seeing the world every 90 minutes. That's how fast we're traveling around it. It's pretty incredible. So we're excited you're here to join us today. We're going to introduce the crew of Inspiration4, and then we're going to show you around some of the cool aspects about this spacecraft we're on right now. So pass.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Sembroski. I'm the mission specialist here, and we've been doing a lot of great things here, like looking out the window at Earth, just like we're going to show you through the cupola in a moment. And I hope we get to share other cool things like some of the medical experiments and some of the more human side of things that we've brought up here in space with us today. So, pass it on over.
Hi everyone, I'm Sian Proctor and I am the mission pilot, and I hope to show you some of the art that I've been doing in a little bit.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us here on Crew Dragon. My name is Hayley Arceneaux. I'm the medical officer of the mission, and excited to show you about the research that we've been doing, as well as how much fun it is to be in microgravity.
All right, so with that, what we'd like to start off, because we think the views will be pretty incredible, is we want to take you up into the cupola so you can see the largest continuous window ever flown in space and the views that it affords.
ちっちゃいものもあるんですね。結構広いね、やっぱ。
And while we're getting our forward hatch open right here for this big reveal, we just want to thank everyone back at home who's been contributing to St.Jude Children's Research Hospital as part of this YouTube channel right now. So a big part of our mission here at Inspiration4 is to inspire what can be done here in space, because there's an awful lot of it, and we got to get out and explore it, but also what our responsibilities that we need to take care of back on Earth. And top on our list right now is conquering childhood cancer, and that's why we're supporting St. Jude.
さあ、キュープラからの映像を見せてくださいよ。見せてくださいよ。
Hi everyone. Unfortunately, we've just gone into darkness, but you can see right above us.
ダークネスだって。
Over there. Hopefully you're getting a good view
今
of
暗
that.
いんだって。
The night lights. And so every time we go into darkness, we get this
でもライトが
amazing
見え
view.
る。あ、ライトが見える、ライトが見える。地球のライトが見える。カメラの反射も見えるけど。
We have an aurora event. It looks like off to our right. I hope you guys can
全
see
部
that.
電気オフにしてくれたら多分すごくよく見えるんだろうけど、カメラのね奥にね一瞬ね地球が見
We
え
are
たね。地
currently
球
over
の
Europe.
ライトが見えた。見えたみん
And
な。
we have been spending so much time in this cupola.
反射で見
We
えんっ
can
てい
put
う
our
ね。
head, this is the largest window ever flown in space. We can put our head in and fit multiple crew members and see the entire perimeter of the Earth, which just gives such incredible perspective, and the views, I have to say, are out of this world.
広い広い。
So while we're getting some goodies out to show you here, some of the equipment we brought
気
on
持ち悪
board,
かったりしなさそうだ
maybe we
ね。
can show you about some of the science we've been doing here. So Nova here is showing off our portable ultrasound, which we've been able to use for a number of different experiments, including
なんかそのスマホ長くない？ 長くない？
measuring our cornea and optic nerve for indications on intracranial pressure. And we also do a couple other scans with it as well that are quite useful.
レンズフードつけてもらって、なんかね、20度になってるからね、反射しちゃうんだよね。
This microgravity environment, and that's something that scientists are looking at. And so we are happy to contribute with that. We've also been taking several swabs of different parts of our body to evaluate the microbiome and how that changes in these 3 days in space. We've also been giving a bunch of samples, blood samples, for the research teams, and as well as doing cognitive tests.
Hey everyone, I have really enjoyed learning how to use markers in space, and so I've got these metallic markers right here. And
ターゲットマーカーがありますって？
last night I drew this. Hold on just a second. So there's my rendition. My art of the dragon capsule being carried by a dragon off of Earth.
アート描いたの？すごい。ターゲットマーカーじゃなくてマーカーを持ってきたよって言ってんのかな？ペン持ってきたから絵描いたって。
Hi everyone. So another thing that we've been doing on this whole mission, just like Sai showed off, is because we're trying to open the frontier for more people and open up space to more humans, we're going to be bringing more of our humanities with us. And so, along with art and music, and so we've had this custom ukulele that was made. It's got our I4 patch there, and it's right there inlaid on the fretboard. So it's been a lot of fun getting some practice on some music while we're floating around the Earth. So I can play a little for you, but you know, you can turn your volume down.
リアもお金吹きたいんだけど宇宙で。めっちゃいいじゃん。生演奏じゃん。おお。完全にバカです。
One of the most fun parts of being in space is microgravity, or this lack of gravity that has enabled us to do all kinds of cool flips and spins. I shall demonstrate a few, if I can not run into too many walls.
Hayley is a champ at spinning. She's been spinning from the moment we got on orbit.
ぐるぐる回ってる。ぐるぐる回ってる。パーした。
I have to say it's a lot of fun and enables us to lift really heavy things without any issue.
このツアーはいくら払えばいけますか？いくらだったっけ？今ね、今画面に出てる人が払ってるんですけど。
It's got a lot of history in spaceflight. It's the first thing that kind of gets released when engines cut off and you make it into orbit. And we picked a very special zero-G indicator for Inspiration4. So Nova's retrieving it right now, and she's going to tell you a little bit about it and why it's so important to our mission.
ブレイクダンス少年だ頭地面につかないからもう完璧にぐるぐるぐるぐる回ってられますね。あ、ゼロ G インジゲーター。
So this was the first thing that we got to throw out whenever we made it to space to show that we really were in a zero gravity environment. And this little guy, who's very cute, he represents the St.Jude therapy dog. So St.Jude has a couple of different golden retriever dogs that are able to sit with the kids when they're scared. They climb up in bed with the kids, and they'll even go through the MRI machine or the CAT scan machine before the kids do to show them that it's not so scary. And so we wanted to bring one of these really sweet dogs to space. But what's really cool is these dogs are on sale, and all the money from the sales of our zero-G indicators are going to go to St. Jude.
犬かわいい。Leo is covered in space. めっちゃ揺れそう。
And I mean, we have to show off some more zero gravity. Look how the water spins through this bottle.
おーおーおー、水のボトルですね。くるくる回るやつ。 ことやってるのがいい。いやそうだよね。宇宙って空間というか場所でしかないから、すごい何をするかはその人の自由なものなのか。でこうだし。
So we're really proud to share this experience with everyone. We know how fortunate we are to be up here. We're giving all of our time right now to science research and some ukulele playing, and trying to raise some good awareness for an important cause for us back on Earth. But appreciate you joining in with us, and we'll see you soon.
安い宇宙旅行がしたいなら、スターシップ、ヒルパーヘビーとか再利用して実用化された方が。
And there you have it, a live on-orbit update from the Inspiration4 crew orbiting Earth in our Dragon spacecraft. Looks like they're having an amazing time in space. The Inspiration4 crew is set to splash down tomorrow, Saturday, September 18th, at approximately 4:06 p.m. Pacific time. Live webcast coverage will begin approximately 1 hour prior at 3 p.m. Pacific time, both on SpaceX.com and the SpaceX YouTube channel. As a reminder, the Inspiration4 crew is using this mission as a fundraising effort for St.Jude Children's Research Hospital. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see a Donate Now button on the right-hand side of the screen. If you can help the team meet their goal of 200 million.
Hi, everyone. Unfortunately, we've just gone into darkness. But you can see right above us, over there, hopefully you're getting a good view of that. The night lights. And so every time we go into darkness, we get this amazing view.
これとか多分わかるかな。ここのね、ここの明かりとか多分地球のやつ。こう手前のこうピピピって出てるのは違うやつだけど、霜かな、なんか飛んでいったやつだけど、これ違って、この下のなんかこうふわっとしたところは多分地球。
Oh, that looks like the aurora. Oh, wow. We have an aurora event. It looks like off to our right. I hope you guys can see that.
見える？
We are currently over Europe.
見えた？ここから再生。
And we have been spending.
この辺から。
We are currently over Europe.
And we have been spending so much time in this cupola. We can put our head. This is the largest window ever flown in space.
見えないな。
We can.
Oh, wow.
見える
We
見え
have
る見え
an
る。
aurora event. It looks like off to our right. I hope you guys can see that.
ね、見えた？ね、見えた？
We are currently.
はい、心の上で見えましたか皆さん。多分もっとね、すごい映像とかネットフリックスで出るんだろうから楽しみにしておきましょう。ネットフリ契約してる人は見てみてください。多分見られるようになると思います。近い将来スペースコロニーできないかな。できる未来も近いと思います。ということで今日はこんなものかな。着陸みんな見て終わろう。じゃあお疲れ様でした。着陸をこう流しとくので見つつ終了。なんとなく見えてる気がするでしょでしょ。なんとなく見えてるよね。なんとなくね。さっきのに戻す。
For her art.
ここらへんかな。
slow the vehicle down from 120 miles an hour to about 15 miles an hour, and then we'll make splashdown off the coast of Florida.
Or
この辺ぐらいからかな。流しつつ。
What you're seeing on your screen right now is on the left-hand side. That is Mission Control Hawthorne.
Dragon, GPS converged. Expect nominal altitude for drogue chute deploy.
よし、じゃあみんな朝来てくれてね、見逃しちゃった人はこれを見て、着陸を見てください。着水から見てください。そして朝から見てくれた人は本当にありがとうございました。今日の朝の配信はこれで終了となりますので。
Comms with Dragon, and they're getting ready for drogue deploy here shortly.
Yeah, I love these tracking shots. Again, that is Dragon in the center of your screen. We've got visuals of it, and we're expecting drogue chutes to deploy, and then the main chutes shortly after that here in a couple of minutes.
登録者様がね、今ね、4295人なので、あと5人です。あと5人です。もしリアのことを好きになってくれそうな人が周りにいたら、その隙にもういっぱい布教してください。
Again, a lot of excitement for Inspiration4 crew's return. Waiting on drogue chute deploy. That happens at about 18,000 feet.
Dragon, brace for drogue window.
姉ちゃんも気をつけてねって。ありがとう。今から帰るね。リアまだライブ終わってないから。うちに帰るまでがライブだから。ってなるとクロリスに帰るまでがライブなんだけど。
About 3 to 5 Gs.
We heard some words to have them brace for drogue deploy. They will feel the difference in speed when the chutes do deploy. That was what the core mentioned there. That's such a cool shot of Dragon coming back down to Earth. It looks very fast in this camera view.
はい、お疲れ様でありがとうございます。読んでいこう。
We're hearing 2 good drones.
じゃあお疲れ様でありがとう。ひろひろちゃんお疲れ様でした。
This is a great shot of Dragon looking off at the
ありがとうひろひろちゃん。リックちゃんありがとう。
A lot of communication going back and forth between the crew and ground station, but the drogue's job is to slow the vehicle down from about 350 miles an hour to 120. We are expecting the main chutes for these to cut off and the main chutes to come shortly after this.
じゃあ、これを作詞前見終わったら終了します。お疲れ様でした。これだけさんお疲れ様でした。ありがとう。
And at 4:04 p.m. Pacific time, we do have confirmation that the main chutes have deployed. And you can see that on your left-hand screen of the camera, looking forward above the Dragon capsule, looking at those 4 main chutes.
1,000.
Copy, 1,000.
Nice words, more fun to words.
The next event coming up now is a visual confirmation of Splashdown. You can see the Dragon capsule on your right-hand screen. Slowly coming down now. We've talked about how fast the vehicle has been traveling, but they will be touching down approximately 15 miles per hour when they touch the Atlantic Ocean there.
800, SpaceX.
You copy 800.
Now, the Dragon 1 program had great success with the water landing, with 20 successful splashdowns over the course of that program, 9 of which were carried out by flight-proven Dragon spacecraft.
ふわふわタイム、ふわふわタイム。
And this is a great shot. Dragon continuing to descend back towards Earth
今日
again,
ね、
targeting a
もし
landing,
かしたら夜
excuse me,
6
a
時から8時の間
splashdown
で
off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic
ポ
Ocean.
ケモンユナイトの視聴者参加型をやる可能性があります。今日本当は大会だったんだけど、大会に出られなくなっちゃったので、抽選に落ちてね、出られなくなっちゃったので、その分の対戦企画をやるかもという感じです。ではでは、お疲れ様ありんでした。赤道さんもありがとう、来てくれてありがとう。お疲れ様ありんでした。あと5人増えないかな、あと5人増えないかな。
200, we're bracing.
200?
We copy 200.
綺麗だなぁ。
Inspiration4, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home to planet Earth. Your mission has shown the world that space is for all of us and that everyday people can make extraordinary impacts in the world around them. Thank you for sharing your leadership, hope, generosity, and prosperity. And congratulations on your incredible journey.
ツイッターのフォローとチャンネル登録をぜひともよろしくお願いいたします。また次の動画や配信やロケットのいろいろでお会いしましょうね。また会えることを楽しみにしています。ロケット実況 VTuber 臼井クリアでした。